Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Nick
I mean,
from Top Notch Sports, and today we're going to be discussing the Las Vegas Raiders, things that we still want them to do. All right, look, there's still a lot of moves to be made. Ian, you're a regular on this channel. About time we just get you a Top Notch Sports shirt and stuff. I had to pull out my Raiders stuff. Okay, I had to pull it out because we're not posing for football cards now. Offense, we're not posing for football cards. Let's play with some speed. Watch some John Gruden mic'd up. You'll see that clip in there. Look. Here we are, okay? 2023 is almost upon us. The offseason's almost over, but there's still a few moves that we can make that can make this team get improved. So
mhm.
I'm going to let you start. First things first, plug your page, let them know a little bit about you. Hopefully by now they know who you are, but if they don't, let them know who you are.
If anyone new, I'm Radio Style Legends on Instagram. Post like every pretty much little news bit, snippet, and rumor and update on there. And then I'm doing draft, like breaking down the picks for us right now. Um, I do some scouting reports in the off season for free agency and the draft. So go follow that. It's a lot of good content.
For sure. Like I said, it's everything you can possibly ask for on a Raiders page. I mean, I follow a bunch. Yours is up there with all of them. So again, go give this guy a follow. It's a really nice page. All right. So what's your insight? The first things first, strengths and weaknesses right now with the current roster. We bring in Tyree Wilson. We bring in Michael Mayer. How do you feel like the team's sitting right now?
So the first kind of obvious strength is just our offensive weapons in general. Running back room is stacked. Wide receiver room is stacked. Might see a trade there to trading a guy away. Tight end room stacked. Got Michael Mayer, got Austin Hooper, OJ Howard completely revamped. And then on the defensive side, I think the edge room is actually kind of a strength. Um, Chandler Jones, Max Crosby, Tyree Wilson. Um, Outside of that, on the defense, not too many like big strengths. But also on the offense, you know, I would I would say quarterback is a strength. Jimmy Garoppolo, not, a lot of people don't think he's great. I don't think he's great, but he is. I think he's a good quarterback, and I think he's very capable of winning. Um, so I consider QB a strength. I got Brian Hoyer back there as QB two. A lot of people also don't like that. They just kind of hate on every Patriot that's brought in because of Josh McDaniels, but I really honestly do like that QB room.
For sure. I mean, like I said, look, Jimmy Garoppolo can win games, especially with Josh McDaniels. And you look at the players he has around him. I mean, it is good enough. I mean, you got Adams, okay, who I love how everyone argues that this guy was the best receiver in football just 2 years ago, but now everyone's like, oh, Justin Jefferson and blah, blah, blah. Stephon Diggs. Adams is still up there with all of them. It's just that, again, we didn't win last year, and, everything happened, and everyone wants to throw him under the bus now. Josh Jacobs literally was the best running back. Thing is, though, I still have a wishy-washy feeling with him. I did not like him before last year. I'll be honest with you. He gets hurt too much. He's laying on the ground. I remember him like laying on his back, like moving because he's injured. He plays through injuries. I know that, but I just don't know if I would pay this man a ton of money. Really good guy, love the player. He's worth the money. He's worth money. I wouldn't say though he's worth $15 million or 13, whatever the hell it's gonna ask for. And I remember him saying, if basically saying, if you're not gonna bring in my guys, then you're gonna have to pay me like a hero. And again, I feel like getting rid of Carr, getting rid of a bunch of guys on this team, Waller, he's gonna want to get paid now. And I don't think McDaniels and Ziegler are ultimately gonna end up paying him what he wants. Maybe they do. It's not the Patriot way. Jacoby Myers, Adams, Jacobs, Renfro, if all of them stay intact, plus, like you said, the amazing tight end. I mean, our tight end room is very solid. Really, Austin Hooper was a guy that was phenomenal for Atlanta. Then he went and moved around. But before that, when he was on Atlanta, they liked him over there. And then you got someone like Michael Mayer. Again, he could have been a first round pick. And OJ Howard was a first round pick. So a ton of talent in that room. And our offensive line, it's getting there. Dylan Parham, Colton Miller, Jermaine Alumar picked it up last year. I still like Thayer Munford. Netane Muti, who we signed as free agency. What do you think about him? I mean, he's a nice addition too.
Yeah, I got off the Broncos practice squad during the season, brought him back in the off season. Staff has a lot of kind of hope for him. I know Brasillo, the offensive line coach, had a second round grade on him back in New England in 2020. I was really high on him in that process. I like him. I think he's best suited as a left guard. Don't know. It's kind of 50-50 on where I'll play right now
Yeah.
because I know the Parham played left guard almost all of last year. Wasn't a big fan of that because first couple of games he was playing right guard and he was playing well, and then he moves to left guard. And, he's giving up a bunch of pressures, sacks. Not going to give up on him after his rookie year, obviously, but I think he's just better suited to play on the right side. He did that in college as well. Um, but Moody, I do like. I think if he's used correctly, then he can be a decent starter for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then again, you go to the defensive side of the ball. You're 100% right. The edge rusher position, it's now a strength. I mean, Jones, Tyree Wilson, Mad Max Crosby, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time Malcolm Kuhn steps on the field, at least he does always seem like he makes a play. I don't know if you saw the same thing. I mean, every time that guy lined up on the edge, now like, I don't think this new regime likes him that much, but every time he stepped on the field, I mean, this guy seems like he does get pressure. What do you think about Malcolm Kuhn's?
He's fighting for a roster spot right now, honestly, with all the, you know, um, draft picks, free agents, UDFAs. Jordan Willis was in there in free agency. Obviously, Tyree Wilson. Um, and Kuntz he's kind of in an uphill battle right now. He didn't play a ton last year. When he was playing, he didn't look good um, in the regular season. So I'm not a Kuntz hater. I think he deserves another. Well, I think he deserves another few games. See how he does at the beginning of the season. If he's not doing well, maybe you cut him. But I wouldn't cut him just yet. But I think he may end up being better suited in a different scheme as a pass rush specialist.
For sure. And again, like I said, I think the scheme fit has kind of left. Again, I think he would have fit way better. He did give me some flashbacks of Yannick Ngakwe, when we drafted him under, Gus Bradley. But again, it's just everything has changed. Interior defensive line, Jerry Tillery, Neil Farrell, Bilal Nichols, Byron Young, Matthew Butler, Nesta J. Silvera. We got a bunch of guys there. This has been a weakness for us for years, really since Richard Seymour, and Richard Kelly. Those guys were a long time ago. I was a young kid then. What do you think about this group? I mean, again, no superstars here, but a lot of depth guys that I feel like could play a solid role. So who do you think is going to win that starting job?
So I see that starting nose tackle is Neil Farrell. Um, I think they've been really pleased with his progress, and I see the kind of starting three tack. If you're going to name one, it would be Bilal Nichols. If you're going to name two, it would be Jerry Tillery as well. And then a five tack is um, kind of like a defensive end on the tackles outside shoulder. Byron Young would be starting there. So it's a really situational defensive line. Like we got some guys that can pass rush. We got some guys that defend the run. Jerry Tillery, Jerry Tillery and Bilal Nichols are more of those pass rushing guys. Neil Farrell can, in my opinion, do both. Um, John Jenkins is kind of situational guy. So I mean, it's an interesting room, and I think I don't know if I'd say it's improved. I think it's not super proven. We're kind of relying on Neil Farrell to be our starting nose and things like that. And Matthew Butler is going to be playing a role as a depth piece and that sort of thing. So it's not a proven room. It's a young room, but it's not horrible right now. It's not bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's just a lot of guys that are fighting for jobs. Again, Jerry Tillery, former first round pick. Neil Farrell, again, I was high on him coming out. I like him still. Just a bunch of guys there. Again, it's just kind of like our tight end room. I mean, nobody's proved like Austin Hooper's done stuff. OJ Howard's a guy that had a ton of potential. I like taking shots on guys that have this, like Evan Ingram last year. Everyone kind of gave up on him. He goes to Jacksonville with a new coach, new system. Doug Peterson found out what's best for him. Take a shot on a guy like Tillery. Take a shot on a guy like OJ Howard. See what they can do. I do like these moves. Linebacking room. Okay. Now, this is one that I'm going to draw and say, could be definitely considered a weakness. Diablo, I like Diablo from like when we do see him, he looks good. We don't have Denzel Perry. Did Denzel Perryman sign anywhere yet, or is he just still kind of out there in free agency?
He's on the Texans.
All right, so he did go to the Texans. So no longer have him. We got Robert Spillane, who again he's a downhill kind of a guy. This guy can stuff the run. I watched him a lot. Not good in pass coverage at all. And then Luke Masterson, I know you're not a fan of him. I kind of like him. Again, it's very wishy-washy. And I do understand your point too with him is that he is getting unnecessary hype. Because the fans see him flying around the field all the time, but he does blow coverages and stuff sometimes. So or blow assignments. But I know you're kind of like you like Darian Butler more than him, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Okay. So I mean, what do you think overall linebacker room, and what do you feel there? What needs to be done?
I think we need a guy that can kind of go up and rush the passer and also drop back into coverage. We have no guys that can have really proven to be able to cover. Diablo, I think, will unlock that ability. Darian Butler could unlock that ability kind of as and come in as a sub linebacker, but we don't really have a proven guy in there. I think Kyle Van Noy would be a perfect addition there. Um, you know, in terms of run defense, it's not a terrible group. I think Spillane and Diablo would do a pretty good job as two down linebackers. Maybe Diablo becomes a three down linebacker. That's my hope for him. I think he can. I think he can achieve that, like I said, but it's not proven right now. And we definitely should add a veteran. And I think guys like Rashawn Evans, Kyle Van Noy are perfect candidates for that.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And like I said, now here's another room that's interesting to me, the cornerback room. I mean, you move on for someone like Rock Ya-Sin, you go out, you trade for him, you move on from Yannick Ngakoue, you bring him in. No longer with us. Okay. You bring in Duke Shelley. I remember you said you liked that signing, right?
Yeah,
A little bit undersized though, right? 5'9", I think he's right around. So a little bit smaller. But again, that doesn't mean anything. You got Nate Hobbs, Brandon Fashawn, or whatever the hell you say his name, David Long, okay, and Jacorian Bennett. You still got Amit Robertson, Sam Webb, and Tyler Hall. Okay, these are all guys that, have been on this team now for, some of these guys have been on the team. Amit Robertson probably being the longest guy, right? He was before Nate Hobbs, I believe.
yeah. One class
So
before you.
yeah, so I mean, you look at this room. I mean, there's only three guys that kind of have, or two guys that have a tenure here. What do you think about this room? I mean, again, looking at it now without Rocky Ya-Sin, I mean, it's an interesting room.
It's an interesting room and it's a young room. I think Amik is kind of on the bubble, you know.
Yeah,
I think he has some trade value as well, though. He got a couple picks last year, did some made some plays. I'm not too high on him, but I think we could maybe get a late round pick for him. And then for the outside corners, you got Hobbs, you got Jacorian Bennett, you got Duke Shelley, Brennan Faison. Right now, the starters are Hobbs and Faison. As much as I don't like that, as much as I wish Shelley was over Faison, realistically, the starters are Hobbs and Faison. They signed Faison to like a 2 year, $6.5 million deal or something like that. But that was a gross overpay. Not a lot of guaranteed money, but it needs a vet or Duke Shelley starting. Um, and we need some depth. So I think Marcus Peters is still a nice option. You know, some people don't like his attitude. I don't like his attitude either, but it can be worked around. And I think being kind of put in the Patriot way can go one or two ways for him.
yeah,
He kind of either straightens up, or hates it like Darius Slay did. It's not a shot at Darius Slay. It's just, you know, um, and kind of falls through. But I think they could use a vet like that. I'm trying to think of who else is out on the market right now. Kind of drawing a blank. They have Tyler Hall in the slot, who I really, really like as well. He's kind of the starting nickel right now, and I'm completely content with that. I mean, he balled out last year. Played at a, you know, if he was playing like that all season, he would have a Pro Bowl case for sure. And so I think it's a young room with a lot of talent and potential. I add Jacorian Bennett to that as top end athlete. His traits are nice, um, but inconsistency. I think he ends up being like an average corner in the NFL. For now, he's kind of a matchup man corner. Needs to clean up some things in zone. But yeah, that's what I think about our corner room right now. Maybe needs some depth added to it.
yeah. I mean, like you said, I do agree with the veteran thing. Marcus Peters is a great name to throw out there. I believe his idol growing up, I believe, was actually Charles Woodson. That's why he wears the number 24. I remember hearing that somewhere. Look, I mean, that's an old school Raider. I don't like the attitude myself. Because he just runs his trap sometimes, like mouth about just some random. I want to see you play aggressive. Like I said, and I know again, I'm going to keep going out there, but I like the Jonathan Abram play style. I'm going to hit you hard and I'm going to run my mouth a little bit, but I'm not going to be, talking all this crap. Like, just play your game and play with an attitude, but you don't got to have an attitude off the field. So I would love to bring in Marcus Peters as a player. Again, I don't know if you would fit with the New England Patriot way, but again, it's just, I hate keep on saying that because we weren't known for that. Now we are, we have to have certain players, and to me, coaches should mold their system and their scheme and their team around their players rather than trying to be a certain. Now, again, I understand trying to run a tight ship. It's a good way and a good model, but that's better in college and stuff like that, in high school and even middle school football than it is in in the NFL. NFL, you're trying to coach up a bunch of adults. These guys are 23 years old, 21 years old. Some of them are freaking 22-ish. And you got guys that are 33. And when you're screaming at a guy that's 33 and you're telling them, the stuff that some of these New England guys want, they don't really want to care about all like the little tiny technicalities, or they don't want to run sprints or laps anymore. That's something that you do to a 14-year-old that, it throws a ball at the back of the coach's head or something. So, this is not something that you do with grown men. But again, it's interesting. So, all right, let's go to our safety room now. We bring in Marcus Epps. We got Trayvon Merring, Roger Teamer, right? Christopher Smith. We draft him. Isa Polomeo, or whatever the hell his name is, was someone that we brought in last year. What do you think about this room here as a safety position?
Yeah, in terms of our starters, it's like we don't have a lot of coverage ability there. I think there's a lot of potential with Chris Smith, who I really like. I think there's a lot of potential with Isaiah Palomaro as a coverage guy. He's adding some weight. Might even move down and play some in the sub package as a linebacker. Um, I think it definitely needs some more coverage ability in there. Whether that means Duron Harmon, whether that means some other guy you find. Epps is a nice run defender. He's a very good run defender. Merrick was a decent run defender last year. I still have some hope for him as a coverage guy, but again, it's not proven. The defensive back room as a whole kind of needs some depth. It's not The defense is not super proven, which is fine. It's young guys. I understand what we're building here, but need to make some additions. John Johnson is still out there. That's a guy, a complete safety that I like, and that might be my number one guy out there for safety right now.
Absolutely. So now, real fast. So we went over most of the positions. Who are your top guys in free agency that you want to bring in?
I have named a few so far. Trying to think of some other guys. I mean, really, you see guys like um, the Broncos guard, Dalton Risner.
Risner,
A
yeah.
lot of people will be a fan of him. I'm not so much. I'm not super high on him, and I'm pretty content with our guard room right now. Right now, like I said, like I've already said, Calvin Noy, Marcus Peters, Rashawn Evans, Jerron Harmon. Those are some of the guys I have off the top of my head. And there's also some guys that maybe can make some special teams contributions. Maybe like bring back Jalen Brown. I'm not high on him as a defender with how he played in our system last year, but he maybe has a little bit of special teams ability that the team could use. And I mean, just try to find some guys that will help this team, that will play a role. Don't necessarily have to be superstars or stars or big time impact players. They can make a little impact, play a role with the team, whether it's rotational, whether it's maybe even they end up starting after a camp battle or something, or they end up starting after an injury. You just want to find guys that have potential and can play a role with the team.
Absolutely. Again, I can't ask for anything more than that. You just need a role player. You don't need superstars. You get too many superstars on a team, it never pans out, for the most part, unless you're the Rams. But, to me, you got to have, one superstar and have the other guys buy in. And that's how you really build a really, really solid team anyway, because you don't want to be overpaying 1,000 guys. And I don't want to be a team that, we have a bunch of 40-year-olds that are trying to get a ring that try to build a super team. I just want a team that we can say that we built from the ground up. That's our team that we can hope that can win a championship in the next 10 years, that competes consistently. And I'm hoping that Ziegler and McDaniels can do that. All right, now the fun part, okay? We talked about everything else. Is there anything else you want to add there?
Um, don't think so.
Okay, we're going to talk about the schedule. So I don't think you're going to be able to see this for some reason, but I'm going to pull it up and we're going to do our predictions. So right now, hopefully our people can see the screen, and we got me and you, and we got our predictions. So I'm going to go over each game. Okay. I believe this is the right order. I don't even know if the order has been decided yet, but at least I know the game. So the first game we got, at least according to this, is the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field. They brought in a lot of guys. Okay. They brought in a ton of guys on defense. They made some moves. What do you think at Soldier Field, possibly week one? I don't know if the weeks have been decided yet, but this is the first thing I'm seeing. Who do you got? And what's your early prediction here?
Yeah, I think the schedule comes out mid-May, so it should be coming out like the next week. I think it comes out like May 15th or something. I think I saw something about that. Anyway, the Bears I have us winning against. They did add a lot of guys, but they definitely have a lot of weaknesses. And sometimes it takes a few games for those guys to kind of blend together and find a fit. Um, Try to kind of build that culture up. And I think, especially if we can catch them early in the season, this is not necessarily an easy W, but I think we can win this game for sure.
For sure. I'm the same way. I'm also going win here. I do agree with everything you're saying. I mean, this is a young team. Let me it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We're going to a cold spot in Chicago. Who knows how the temperature is? We're from Vegas. Our team is not me or you, but we're from Vegas, and this team, man, they got to really bundle up and get ready to go. I mean, it's right off the gates. Hopefully these young guys can step in right away, start the season off 1-0, and then we go back to back away game. Well, again, if this is right, I don't think this is, but we got to go to Denver. So if this is right, let's say we go to Denver. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so I I won't give the other Denver game away. I was winning in Mile High. The sweeps have happened so like the past 3 years, I think. Past 3 seasons, we've sucked them every single time. I'm not saying that's necessarily going to continue for the rest of like eternity, but I think it's we got them for now. We got them for now. We're a step ahead. They're building up their team. We're also building up ours. I didn't like some of their free agency additions. I did like others, but I mean, if we can get there in like September or October when it's not super cold, I think this is basically maybe not a lock for a win, but I think we should win this game. And even if it's cold, Jimmy Garoppolo is a quarterback now. He's played in San Francisco for a long time, but he played in New England before that. He's not Derek Carr. He's been exposed to cold weather before, and he's proven that he can win in cold weather. So I think, yeah, we got this. We got the Broncos.
Yeah,
We're taking a dub. We're taking a dub.
I think so too. I think we're starting off 2-0 with this. Okay, let's hope McDaniels can keep this damn train rolling, reversing Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. I think they got a lot of learning to do, just like we do. But I feel like we can start off the year 2-0 if this is the correct schedule. Now we go to Detroit. At Detroit, we're going to Michigan. Tough team. Dan Campbell. What do you got?
They're biting kneecaps. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I hear you.
yeah, they're gonna bite our kneecaps right off, and we're gonna lose. That's what I have. So, I mean, they're building something special over there. A lot of people didn't like their draft because of the reaches. Jameer Gibbs wasn't a good pick at all. But other than that, I mean, Jack Campbell in the first round, I don't have a problem with. I mean, he was the best linebacker in the draft. He's going to be potentially an elite talent. I don't see any problem with taking him there, even if it is maybe considered somewhat of a reach. Um, they got Brian Branch. They supplemented through free agency. I think they're gonna beat us.
I got the same thing. Like you said, this team's building up strong. You got a running back room that is still very solid over there in David Montgomery, and like you said, you're bringing Jameer Gibbs, and as you said too, yeah, the draft might not be, for the people that have to grade it, like myself. Yeah, we might not give it the highest grade because there are some reaches, but that doesn't mean that they're not impact players day one. I mean, they drafted impact players day one. Jack Campbell will be a starter. It's not a premier position, but it's still going to be a starter. Running back's definitely not a premier position, but he's still going to be a starter. He's going to make an immediate impact. I think that they beat our asses. It's going to be a close game. Any game, but Josh McDaniels can make a bad team look all right. That's one thing I will say about him. I think we won't get blown out. I think it'll be a close game, but I do feel like they're going to ultimately beat us. At Kansas City, we're going to Arrowhead. What do you got?
Yeah, it is a no. I mean, I don't even know if I have to explain this one. I mean, we've been beaten by the Chiefs so many times, and I don't really see that streak ending right now.
I 100% agree. I mean, Pat Mahomes is still there. Andy Reid's still there. You didn't give us another L. I mean, that's just the damn truth at this point. It's until I see it change, I can't. I had some hope with Gruden and Carr and all them when we were starting to get on a roll. Right now with this new regime, I got to see that they can beat them first. So again, we're gonna wait it out here. All right, Denver in Las Vegas. What do you got?
Got the season sweep here. I mean, again, fourth straight season it would be awesome. They got Sean Payton, but again, it's they're not there yet. They're not there yet. I mean, Devontae Adams is gonna burn them. Josh Jacobs is gonna run all over him. It's just how we play against them. We like go to a whole new level.
I agree. I think this is the one team that we like to be up on is the Denver Broncos. And this is a team feel like that we feel very comfortable with. I know some things have changed. The coaching staff has changed multiple times for us and for them. I still feel like our players play with, very confidently against the Denver Broncos. It's not going to be easy, but I do feel like we sweep one throw. Kansas City in Las Vegas. What do you got?
I have them sweeping us again. Pretty self-explanatory. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, like you said. It's just, I mean, that's pretty legendary combination of head coach and quarterback right there.
All right. LA in Las Vegas. What do you got?
So as the Chargers, I got us winning in Las Vegas. I think they have beat us in Las Vegas. I was gonna say, I don't know if we've ever lost to them in our new home stadium, but we did back in 2020. But this year, I think we're winning, just like we did last year. Um, they're building a good team as well. They got a solid team. Maybe I'm not as high on them as a lot of other people, and I don't think that's really biased. I think that's just how how I see their roster. They took Quinn Johnston in the first round. You got Mike Williams already. They're kind of like the same player, and the talent is not a big. There's not a big difference between the talent there. So, um, bad first round pick. Outside of that, didn't have huge problems with their draft, but you know, I think we're kind of close with them right now in terms of how good our teams are, to a certain extent. But I have us winning in Las Vegas.
Yeah, this is going to be my first disagreement here. And it's not, again, I agree with everything you said. I think that we can absolutely beat this team. And I don't like Brandon Staley at all, but I do like Justin Herbert. And when I think about when you talk about some of the most talented quarterbacks in the league, Justin Herbert's one of them. To me, you bring in Quentin Johnston. You still got Mike Williams as of now. You still got Keenan Allen as of now. You got Eckler still. You got Isaiah Spiller if they start to use him. The defense on paper is stacked, and Brandon Staley's supposed to be this defensive guru. Doesn't really seem like one, but he does. He's supposed to be one. I just again, it's going to be tough for us to beat some of these teams. Especially right now. Maybe we make some acquisitions in free agency. Before the season starts, I'll have us winning this game. But right now, this second, I just don't see it happening. New England, okay, in Las Vegas, we beat them last year. What do you got now?
Oh yeah, I have us beating them again. It's kind of just Josh McDaniels beating up on his old team. I think that's something he takes a lot of pride in. Um, Kind of again on a similar level as us in trajectory in terms of how they're building. And it makes sense because, we got former Patriots as our execs and coaches right now. So, but I have us winning this game. Maybe another Chandler Jones pick six. That'd be pretty wild.
It would be crazy if he does it again.
Yeah.
I think this is Billy B's revenge game. I'm gonna be honest with you. Bill Belichick, the guy, Seattle. He's gonna come in, and I'm just. They got Bill O'Brien now. They don't have SpongeBob and Patrick running their offense anymore. They got an actual coach, and I feel like we beat him because Chandler Jones got a pick six on a not even what was it? It would be considered a fumble. When Jacoby Myers threw it backwards or whatever, it was all over the place. Ultimately, none of that's going to happen again. And now they got a competent guy running the offense. I feel like we're stealing a lot of New England Patriots. I still don't. We haven't made many improvements yet. We're making young improvements. We're going to be good 3 years from now. I don't know if I can say we're going to be great right now. But again, we are a young team. We're building this from the ground up. I think Billy B is going to get his revenge. So we're going to have to wait and see. The New York Jets with Aaron Rodgers in Las Vegas. What do you think?
I have us losing this game. They just brought in Aaron Rodgers. I mean, so many tiers above what they were working with the quarterback last year. Even Mike White. I know a lot of people like Mike White because he's just this like magician that comes in and wins games randomly and puts up 400 yards every time he plays. I don't like Mike White. I mean, he's not good. It's kind of like the Taylor Heineke situation. He's not good. He's just won a couple of games and everyone loves him. But yeah, they made significant upgrade at quarterback, and they were already a what I would consider a solid team. You know, they had one of the top defenses in the league. I think this is a kind of not an easy W because I don't think any W is easy in the NFL, but it's a win for the Jets and it's a loss for us.
I agree. Now I got our team on a 4-game losing streak, and I hate to do this, but it's tough. The New York Jets are going to be a tough football team. Aaron Rodgers, this offense is just potent with Garrett Wilson and they got now they're bringing in Randall Cobb for the love of God. They got Jeremy Ruckert from last year. They have a loaded team. Brees Hall, Michael Carter. Now they bring in Israel Abanikanda. Solid roster, solid team. Again, you're just bringing in a phenomenal quarterback, and you got a great defensive minded head coach. Really like this team.
180. 180, set.
The Green Bay Packers. All right. What do you think's going to happen here? You're going against Jordan Love.
I got to stick in a W against the Packers. You know, Jordan Love is, I think he's going to be a good quarterback. Looked good against the Eagles last year, and it's not an easy team to look good against. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to be good, but he's inexperienced. They lost a lot of guys this offseason. I think we take a W in this game. I think we're kind of close with them. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think it's going to be a competitive season. We're really close with a lot of our opponents. I think we might blow out like a couple of teams, maybe, and we're going to get blown out by a couple of teams. But other than that, it's going to be close games, and there's going to be one of them. But yeah, I got to stick in a W.
I agree with this one. I also believe that we're going to end up beating the Packers. This team it's a tough team. It's going to be tough, and I'm one of those fans of Jordan Loves. I like him coming out of college. He is one of those guys that are going to be a boomer or a bust. But again, you saw the development, and you didn't see him just throwing up chucking balls like a Zach Wilson or somebody too. He has all the ability in the world. He seems like he's disciplined now since coming from college. Hopefully, he can keep that mindset set and keep going. But for the Raiders' perspective, I hope he sucks, and I hope that we throw the ball for 1,000 yards and he throws 10 interceptions. So I do got us winning this one, which will now put my record at 4-6, and you're at 6-4 through the first 10 games. Now we go, and Minnesota's coming to Las Vegas. What do you think?
Yeah, got us losing to the Vikings. I think they're a really, really underrated team. They kind of, went to the playoffs, lost in the wild card to the Giants, and a lot of people thought they were just pretenders. I do not believe that they were pretenders. Kirk Cousins is very hated on quarterback, but I think he's a good quarterback. They got a great team. Justin Jefferson, got some guys on defense, Daniil Hunter. So yeah, I think they will be maybe one of the teams that blows us out.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kevin O'Connell's there, and I know they'll lose Thielen, but who do they add instead of Thielen? Oh, they add Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
We lose Irv Smith Jr. Oh, well, we bring in T.J. Hawkinson, one of my favorite tight ends prospects I've ever watched. Dalvin Cook's still there. Alexander Madison's still there. The offensive line still continuing to grow. With Dorisol on the left side, and then you got that defense, like you said, Daniil Hunter, Eric Kendricks. They got it, and they drafted Andrew Booth last year, who I liked. So yeah, I do feel like we're gonna lose this game. This is a game, though. I'm getting a weird feeling though that could be the Raiders game that we somehow pull it off in immaculate fashion. Like, oh my God, we beat the Vikings, but then we lose the rest of the season. So again, a team like this wouldn't be shocking at all if we somehow find a way to win. But again, it's just, I mean, it is what it is. So right now I got us sitting at 4-7. You got us at 6-5. And now we're going to California to play the LA Chargers in LA. What do you think?
Speaking of the Chargers, they did actually sign Eric Kendricks this offseason.
I
Um,
was wrong.
um, so I got us splitting games with them this time. Um, a loss for the Chargers. It's at their home. It's pretty much our home, but you know, still, I have us losing. They're a good team. Like I said, we're close, and we're close with them in terms of like competition wise and talent wise. So yeah, I was losing this one.
I hate the Chargers. I hate them, but I feel like we're gonna get swept. I'm trying to be legitimately honest and try to be as unbiased as possible. We're getting swept by the Chargers, and I just maybe I'll be wrong or I'll be eating my words, and I hope I do. But I just again I'm not betting on the Raiders at all this year. I'm not putting any money in on the Raiders unless we're supposed to like win 2 games or something. Maybe I'll bet the over on that. But for the most part, I'm probably gonna bet the under if anything. I just don't see this being a phenomenal. I think we're going to compete. All these games I feel like might be close, but I just don't see us winning a lot of these again. At Miami, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida. What do you think?
Lost. I mean, they're stacking up. On top of everything, they got Jalen Ramsey this offseason. They got Toronto Armstead last offseason. Tua, I'm higher on than a lot of people. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be a good quarterback. Um, I mean, you look at their defense, Emmanuel Ogbah and the guys like that. Javon Holland, who I loved in the 2021 process, wanted him or marriage there in the day 2 when they fell out of the first. Yeah, they got a really good team, and I think they're building something very, very special there. And I think they're going to make a deep playoff run, and they're going to beat us, maybe with ease. I don't know.
Any other year, I would usually have us beating Miami just because I feel like we always compete well against Miami. It's like for some reason, even as a child, like as a kid, I remember playing Miami a lot. Like, I don't know why. We don't even play them that often, but I just remember playing this team a good amount in the last decade. I feel like we played this team probably, a good amount of time. I don't know why. I just very memorable moments. Especially when we lost to Ryan Fitzpatrick with a face mask. That was against Miami, right? With Matt Collins caught
Yeah.
the ball. Holy crap. I mean, that was more recently, but I remember playing them years ago. Like, it just feels like we play this team a lot. And
Mhm.
I feel like they're going to find a way. Look, this team's solid. Like you said, they bring in Jalen Ramsey. They got a really solid team. And one of my favorite picks of Miami is that they had Devin Akane, running back, runs a 4-3, low 4-3, probably a 4-3-2, I believe it was. Super quick. And I think it's not just speed with him. He's extremely elusive too. This is Mike Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan / Mike McDaniel style running back. And they bring him in. Good move for them. Great pick. And I think, again, between the running game and the passing game and Mike McDaniel geniusness, it's going to be slightly tough. So right now, we should be good. All right, at Buffalo Bills, New York, what do you think?
I was losing. I don't think it's going to be like a big blowout. I think it's going to be a super close game. It's a tough environment. It's a tough team, but I think we'll also be kind of somewhat of a tough team this year. Um, but I have us losing this game very close. Hopefully it's not in like December when it's snowing and that type of thing. But yeah, either way, the Bills are a very good team, and they're playing with a lot of motivation this year. You know, they thought it was their year last year. It wasn't. The whole Damar Hamlin situation. They're going to be playing with a lot of motivations this year. I mean, so are we, but just not good enough to beat the Bills yet.
See, I love the coaches that would fire me up. I just don't think McDaniels is that guy. I just don't see it. Like you said, emotion. I want our guys to be freaking woo. I just don't see it happening. I just don't see us playing. We're very strict and structured. No, it's another thing I can't stand. Totally going off topic here. McDaniels comes in, they all wear gray pants. Gray pants. Everyone in all our coaching staff wears gray pants. I mean, it looks nice, it matches, but come on. Is that a protocol now? Everyone has to wear gray pants? God forbid you forget your gray pants. I guess you might get voted off the coach. Like, come on, let loose a little bit. Coach Drew wouldn't give a rat's ass what color pants you're wearing as long as you coach him and you play with some heart. You know, and I want to see integrity. I just think this guy is a little bit crazy in the brain, making sure everyone's wearing gray pants. So that's totally off topic, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. I think this guy's a little bit nuts. And, you know, I'm just throwing it out there. So it has nothing to do with football at all. But I can't stand guys that make you wear gray pants. That's what, no, but long story short, if you're a coach, fire this team up. Get these guys ready to play for you. You know, I want to hear a nice speech. McDaniels, I don't think he can talk that well. I don't think he can speak that well. I don't think he's a leader of men. He's a strategist, but he's not a leader of men. Not going to fire you up. Like you said, I think the Bills, man, Josh Allen can fire this team up. We don't have a guy. I love Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, I don't know about you. What do you feel? Let me ask you this. Personality-wise, Devontae Adams seems like a little bit like, whoa, 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 like depressed. I want to see him stand up and fire this team up rather than be like, I came here to play for Las Vegas. I'm going to stay here. You know, like, I'm just tired of that nonsense too. Love the guy. Love the player. Even love the person. I mean, he's a pretty good guy. But man, I don't like his personality. Fire this damn team up. What do you think about Devontae?
I think a lot of the like new school receivers and stuff like that are so cocky, and I think Devontae Adams is just more humble. Pretty like
True.
rare to see with a receiver that talented, that elite. And I don't really have a problem with it. You know, he's got some energy in the game. That's what really matters. He's got energy in the game. He can talk up the team, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, he is a good leader. I mean, like people see what he's doing and they start doing it. You know,
Yeah.
iron
No,
sharpens
absolutely. Yeah.
iron. You know?
He's one of the best, man. He's one of the best. And again, like you said, he is full throttle on the football field. He can teach you a thing or two on the practice field. Just those depressing interviews I saw him do all year last year were really getting to me. I wanted to see him, you know, bring a little bit more of a cheery attitude. I mean, there was a lot going on, so I understand that, but hopefully he can be a little bit more cheery this year. All right, we're going to Indianapolis, Lucas Oil Stadium. Anthony Richardson's probably checking in. They got a solid roster. What do you think?
It's a win. So when it's McDaniel's revenge for losing to the ESPN analyst last year. I mean, guy hasn't been able to catch a break since then. My entire team, really. Um, but yeah, I have them winning this game. You know, the Colts had a very down year last year. They've kind of had some trouble with finding their quarterback. Anthony Richardson is gonna play, but you know, he's not quite there yet. He needs a lot of refinement, a lot of development. Maybe he'll be there by the end of the season if we play him by then. Maybe we'll start to catch fire a little bit. Hopefully not. And, you know, I love Anthony Richardson, but um, hopefully for the Raiders' sake, we play him at a time where he sucks. He's not ready to really be an NFL quarterback. Um, but yeah, I got him winning this game right now.
Yeah, I just this is tough because I literally it's like I'm going from analyst neck to fan neck. Analyst neck to fan neck. I want to see us win. I do. They get my number 2 quarterback, and I literally said if the Colts bring in Richardson, that's a better version of Jalen Hurts coming out of college. I love Michael Pittman. I love Alec Pierce. I love Jonathan Taylor. I love a lot of those guys. Man, I just feel like I lost a lot of love for what this Raiders team has to bring. I'm giving us an L, and I hate doing this. I hate doing this. I do. It kills me to do it, but I got us losing. I got us losing. I got to be honest. Pittsburgh in Las Vegas. What do you got?
Um, well, let me pull my notes. My screen just went black. Um, I was winning this game. You know, lost 2 on Christmas Eve. In 2022, that was Derek Carr's last game. I think a lot of guys are kind of gonna come into this game that were on the roster last year with lots of fire, just like they're going to with the Colts, in my opinion. And I think we're going to see a win.
You know, I thought we were going to win around 7, 8, 9 games this year. Oh, God. We do have good luck against Pittsburgh, usually, besides last year. I feel like they made moves that are going to be instantly starters. Broderick Jones is going to be a starter. Joey Porter Jr. going to be a starter. Darnell Washington, not going to be a starter, but he's phenomenal value for Darnell Washington. And now look at the moves we made. Michael Mayer will be a starter. Tyree Wilson's going to be rotational. And then we bring in the 4th round, we go and bring in Aiden O'Connell. Wow, that helps us a lot. I don't know if I'm not, I hate to do this. I did not think I'm going to give us an L. I'm going to give us an L. And I hope they prove me wrong because I've never had us this low before in my life. And the reason why, look, I'm not that high on Jimmy Garoppolo in general. But again, I think he will be good with McDaniels, but clearly not good enough because I got us getting too many losses here. I think we're going to be able to pull one of these out. I'm going to let you guys know that now, but looking at it right now on paper, it's tough. All right, New York Giants, what do you think?
Um, Once again, my phone went black.
All good. All good.
Um, Giants W. Yeah, I didn't really need to look at my phone for that. I just kind of blanked. Yeah, I have us beating the Giants. Think they're getting extremely overhyped right now because they had a good season, on paper. I don't think they're, one of the best teams in the league, like people are making them out to be. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs again. I think they made some additions. I think they're going to be a solid team, but they're not going to beat us.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm not such a big fan of the Giants, like moves that they made, honestly. Like, all right, Jalen Hyatt is great and all. I think we're gonna beat the Giants. I really do. I don't think this is a happy season for us, but I think that we can end the year and be like, hey, ha ha, screw you, Darren Waller, ha ha ha. You're probably hurt anyway. You're probably not even gonna see us. So screw you. But no, look, Darren, you've done, if you're watching this, which I know you're not, okay, I appreciate everything you've done for us, but you weren't on the field a lot. That's just the truth. Okay. So love the guy, love the player. We don't need him anymore. We got Michael Mayer, we got OJ Howard, we got all those guys. Still love Foster Moreau. Foster, if you're watching this video, I want you back. Somehow suit back up for us. I would love to see you back. Or you go to New Orleans. Okay. I'll be happy to see you pair back up with Derek. I got no hard feelings with Derek. I would like to see him succeed still. And again, we'll see. So, all right, you got us at 9-8. I thought I would have us right around there. I got us at 5-12. What are you thinking? If we're 9-8, what do you think? Do we crack the playoffs or no?
It's such a tough conference. I don't know if 9-8 does it. The Dolphins made it 9-8 last year, but you're still seeing teams get better in this conference. The Jets got better. There's some other teams that got better. That's just one of the first teams that came to mind. The Dolphins got better. I mean, so many teams are improving. We're improving, but so are a lot of other teams. So don't think 9-8 will quite get us in, but it gives us a lot of hope for the future, and it would certainly be an improvement over 6-11. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm on the other I'm on the other side. I guess going from 6-11 to 5-12. And I feel like you can argue that we did get better, but we may still lose more games. I mean, it's honestly, it's a tough schedule. But look, the AFC West, you're not guaranteed to win 2 games in the AFC West, and you're versus Chicago, who's heavily improving. You're versus Detroit, who's been, they're biting kneecaps, like you said. You're versus New England. And if anyone knows Josh McDaniels is Bill Belichick, and he wants to take him the hell down. And they got a lot to prove. And again, if it wasn't for last year's everything, then we would have lost that game anyway. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, Packers I think we beat them, but that's going to be a tough game. Minnesota's tough as hell. Miami's tough as hell. Buffalo's tough as hell. Colts, I know they had a down year last year, but they've been one of my favorite teams to watch for years. Like, they just they're a quarterback away almost every year. Pittsburgh, I like Kenny Pickett. I know a lot of people knock Kenny Pickett. I like him. I like Freiermuth, like Najee Harris. George Pickens is good. I don't love him coming out, but he's good. I can't argue there. And last but not least, the Giants are going to be it's going to be a tough year. Now, let me ask you this, okay? 9-8 sounds reasonable. Let's say we do go 5-12. I'm going to ask you first, and I'm going to ask you to predict what I think or what I believe, what I would do if I'm Mark Davis. If we go 5-12. What happens to our coaching staff and GMs?
For me, they're, it's kind of hard to say whether or not they're gone, but I think they're gone. Josh McDaniels isn't necessarily a rookie head coach last year. He was a head coach in Denver for a year and a half. And then, I mean, Dave Ziegler is a rookie GM. So I think you can make a case for him sticking around. He's still learning. He's still kind of feeling out how the process of free agency and that kind of thing goes. And like Mark Davis said, it's so competitive. Like, maybe he doesn't fully understand the amount of competitiveness throughout the league just yet.
Isn't it disgusting though? I think you can go in and do a better job than some of these guys.
Yeah, I think I can, um, but I mean, I would hang on to Ziegler, and I would let go of. Well, you see, I don't know if record really fully determines how good a coach is. You know, obviously, you want a guy that's going to win, but so it's hard to say. I think, well, I'll say what's going to happen is if they digress, you know, they're gone. If they show any little sign of improvement or kind of like around the same, you know, they're staying and they're getting another year to build, continue to build what they're building here. So.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So let me ask you this then: Mark Davis, according to you, if we go 5-12, probably pulling the trigger, getting rid of McDaniels at least.
Mm-hmm.
Would you get rid of McDaniels?
Hard to say right now. Right now, I would not. If we go 5-12, it's just hard to stay without seeing how the team performed. You know, when you just look at record, like
Yeah,
it
no, I
doesn't tell you everything.
Yeah, and like I said, if we go 5-12, now what do you think I'm gonna say?
I think you're gonna say he should be fired.
Yeah, and that's where again, being a fan and being a person that actually does this, I don't like McDaniels, but being a person who played the sport and being a person that coaches a sport, you need time, you need continuity, you need consistency, you need chemistry. It takes a lot. And this is why when I know you like Carr, but you're not a huge fan of Carr, but the dude never had consistency, chemistry, time. He had time, but he didn't have the other two. And if you don't have the other two, you're gonna get screwed. McDaniels came into this wanting to go full. I hope he wanted to win, and they didn't win. So now let him. If we go 5-12, ship away Devontae Adams, ship away whoever the hell else is on the team, Hunter Renfro, ship them away, and let's build this thing from the ground up. But give McDaniels 3, because hell, if you fire him, we're right back to where we were. Honestly, back with frickin' Dennis Allen and Hugh Jackson back in 2010. I don't want to be there because honestly, if these guys leave right now, if McDaniels and Ziegler both leave, we have completely gutted our team and we look horrible. And I don't think any coach wants to touch this team. All we would have is Devontae Adams, and Max Crosby. So they're bringing in New England guys. Please, let them do their thing, because who else are we going to bring in? We're going to bring in somebody else that's going to come in, tear all these guys away and want to do it. I'm tired of this loophole. So I do believe if we go 5-12, you give these guys time, but you got to gut the team. You got to completely gut the team. You keep Crosby, you keep Crosby and Tyree Wilson and Michael Mayer, and you build around those three. So, and Jacory and Bennett, of course, you build around this draft class. But I don't feel like Garoppolo, maybe keep him as a piece again. But man, I would ship away Adams and I would ship away Renfro faster than anything if we continue to lose like this. All right, so that's that. Enough with this. 5-12, 9-8. Is there anything else that you want to say right now going into, the late free agency period here?
It's going to be important to kind of clear up some cap space, add some guys, just to bolster some certain positions. That kind of adds some coverage ability to the defensive back group, such as safety, to add some coverage ability to the linebacker group. So for now, got us going 9-8. We'll see what moves we make. I think I'm gonna have it sticking around 9-8 though. But I do have a lot of hope for this team. Maybe more optimistic than you are for now.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean that's my honest take. As like you said, analyst and fan, you got balance too. It's my take as an analyst. We've improved this offseason in many spots: wide receiver, tight end, in my opinion. Maybe even quarterback in this system. Garoppolo, I think, will be better than Carr was. So I mean, yeah, improved a lot of spots. Edge, another one of those. It'll be really interesting to see how the young guys do on the defense. But for now, I got some hope in this team. I got some. It's
For
got
sure.
some potential. It's got some potential.
It does. It does. And all right, let me ask you this final question, and then I'm sure we'll have you back on and we'll do another segment and probably last about an hour and 35 minutes. But hey, that's what we do here. Okay. And again, I don't care if we get 10 views. It's fine because this is what I enjoy to do. Let me ask you this question. This is a big one. Would you rather, okay, the 2021 Raiders roster and coaching staff with Gruden, let's say, and nothing ever happened and they got Ruggs and everything's still there? Or would you rather start there? Like we start all over with that team and they're just going to go? Or would you take this team
I would take this team.
with this coaching staff?
Yeah, well, part of it is you look back in the future and you say, well, we could have just kept this team and we could have done so well. I think we got really lucky in 2021. And Ruggs was on the come up. It was upsetting to see what happened with him. Gruden resigning. It was just a tough season. And we got lucky towards the end. We made the playoffs, and all the fans had way too high expectations. Now they hate McDaniels. I would take this team. I think they're starting to build something that looks really nice to me.
Absolutely. And again, that's like I said, that's just exactly where we like split apart in this situation, right? That you would take this team and I would take that team. And that could be my biggest flaw is that I'm still looking to the past. I'm not looking at the future and seeing the seed, as Nick Sirianni would probably say, the seed is blossoming, and I'm not seeing it. Instead, I'm just seeing the dead flowers and dead roses I've seen the last 20 years of being a Raiders fan. So I'm hoping you are right. And I'm putting my trust into you because you have a lot more ties with the Raiders than I do right now. I've been sleeping a lot lately and trying to forget about last season. So, all right, that's that. That's all from us. Anything else?
No, that's just keep checking out Top Notch Sports YouTube. Check out Raiders.Legends on Instagram. It's great content between those two. That's all you need. All you need.
Yeah, that's all you need. You don't need anything else. Don't watch TV. Don't watch YouTube. Just this channel, and then you go to the Instagram, and then back to this channel, and then back to Instagram. That's all you need to do. Raiders.Legends and us, all the entertainment you need. The only other thing I'm going to say is that I'm sure we're going to have you back on, and we'll do a lot of debating and stuff too. Okay, hopefully you want to come on, you got to get into some of these fiery debates. Maybe we'll invite the Chargers on all at the same time, and we'll just let you guys just start battling on camera or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Maybe we can get like a WWE ring or something and have you like fight it out or something. See who wins. see if we can sweep them this year, or if they're gonna sweep us, or you got to split. And so we'll see what the hell happens. But we'll wait and see what happens. Again, I'm excited to see this Raiders team. I'm hoping we can continue to take strides going in the right direction rather than the wrong direction. But we'll have to wait and see. And that's all from us. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Peace. We are Built Better.